I mean, I know I don't know anything about bingo, but I had no idea that it was so stressful.
Maximalist minivars with Mary and Captain and you. Get on the bus!
Hi friends, old friends, new friends. If you are a new friend, I'm Mary. Like a lot of nomads, I spend a pretty good chunk of my winter in Quartzsite most years. Maybe you do that too. Maybe you've thought about doing that. And maybe you've wondered, what is there to do at night in Quartzsite? Most of my nights in Quartzsite look like this. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Campfires with friends are great. Good conversation, crackling logs. It's a relaxing way to end the day. But do you always want to relax? I don't know. Sometimes I would like to have a little bit of excitement after dark instead. I might not look like it now, but I used to be quite the party animal back in the day. And by back in the day, I mean way back. Many, many days. There are good reasons not to go into town at night, especially if you stay as far out in Skadden-Wash as we do. It can get really hard to find your way back. But, you know, sometimes it's worth the risk, because every now and then I just want to see what the party animals of today are doing, you know, what kind of mischief somebody can get into here in downtown Quartzsite. So I asked my friend Sarah of That RV Over There fame if she would go with me, because she's young and hip, and I wanted to go check out the one of the staples of Quartzsite nightlife, the Quartzsite Yacht Club. Yeah, Quartzsite has a yacht club, which is pretty weird considering that it's landlocked in the middle of the desert. Somebody obviously has a sense of humor, because the closest water is the Colorado River, which is maybe 30 miles away. But I guess the trick is, if you become a member of the Quartzsite Yacht Club, you may get reciprocal membership in other yacht clubs, even ones that have water. First impression is it's a lively but pretty mellow place. The bar is the main feature, which of course isn't for me, because as you guys know, I've been sober for 33 years.
Don't worry, it's not a cocktail. It's orange juice and soda. Right, Sarah?
We're getting wasted!
Tonight is karaoke night, which doesn't seem to be bothering the pool players any. I'm kind of worried that YouTube is going to hit me with a copyright strike, because I don't have the rights to this music that these people are singing. On the other hand, I'm not really sure that the copyright system is actually going to recognize any of this. If you've ever gone to karaoke, you probably know this woman or somebody like her who just takes the whole thing to a whole other level. Back in the day when I really did get wasted, that might have been me. Little did I know that Yacht Club karaoke was not going to be my only opportunity to hear some very unique versions of the classics. In fact, tonight I might have an even better opportunity. I'm hanging out in the parking lot of the QIA, which is the Quartzsite Improvement Association. It's like a club, like a meeting hall. They have all kinds of events here. Big events. And Sarah and I are meeting up to go to the major concert event of the season. Well, of the month anyway. We missed the December show, but we're here for the January performance of the Greater Quartzsite Ukulele Orchestra. I actually love the ukulele, and I don't think I've ever told you, but I travel with one. Mine is what's known as a banjo-lele, which is, it's just what it looks like. It's a ukulele that sounds like a banjo. It sort of looks like a mini banjo, you know. I think it's very cute. I actually thought about joining this orchestra myself, but I have no idea how to play this thing. I bought it thinking that I would learn on the road, but that hasn't happened. Uh-oh, more challenges for the copyright system. At least they changed the words.
Just remember, it's time to play the good old ukulele.
Is the Quartzsite Area Ukulele Orchestra good? Well, that depends how you define good, I guess. Some of them seem to play really well. Others, I'm not sure they're actually playing the same song. And some of them I don't think are actually really even playing. So I guess I could have joined after all.
Here we go. Singers, are you listening to me? I said singers. What do you want to be? You can make it. Make it real with your dreams, but you've got to know this one thing. No one does it all by themselves.
song choices are great. The lyric changes are hilarious. The banter between the songs is really funny. The show is just the right length. So yeah, I'd say they're good. The show is good anyway. It was really fun. And I got a t-shirt. We can't really talk about Quartzsite nightlife without talking about Silly Al's. It's probably the busiest place in town that doesn't sell diesel fuel, and that's because of the menu, because they have pizza. They have good pizza. More than one person has told me that they have the best pizza in the world, but those are people who clearly have never been to the Northeast. But it's good. I mean, it's good. It's the best pizza in Quartzsite. I recommend the bruschetta pizza. That's what Kat and I had when we went tonight. The bar was hopping. So was the pool table. And of course there was music. There's a lot of music in Quartzsite. Tonight's entertainment was a singer-songwriter on guitar. And then this guy playing the washboard with spoons joined in. I wasn't sure if he was part of the act or he was just, going freestyle. The guitar guy brought along a bucket of percussion instruments, tambourines, cowbells, and all that kind of stuff. So I think he really wanted people to join in. He was trying to make it an interactive thing, but nobody was taking the bait at first until I broke the ice. I went up and got a tambourine, and pretty soon everybody was playing along, everybody was dancing. There was this one guy, I think he might have been the birthday boy, but he seemed all shy. He was not going to get up on that dance floor, but then his friends dragged him up there. And once he was up there, he totally came to life. There was no stopping him. I think you can see by now that a lot of Quartzsite nightlife is kind of a celebration, which makes sense because sometimes even just going to the laundromat here is a social event. It's interesting how much actually does go on in terms of socializing in this town, considering how many nomads fancy themselves to be introverts. If you still haven't had enough partying when Silly Al's and the Yacht Club closed, believe it or not, there is now an after-hours place that you can go to in Quartzsite. And I'm not talking about the truck stop, but it is near the truck stop. Kohinoor Dhaba Indian Restaurant. I know I'm saying that wrong. It's right next to Love's, and it caters to truckers, which means it's open 24 hours. The food is reasonable. I think a plate is $14 or $15. It's a little spicy for this Irish girl, but it's good. It's funny eating motorpreneur in a booth that looks like it came out of a Mexican restaurant. Tonight we are going to check out another staple of Quartzsite nightlife, and this one is a nod to the massive senior population, bingo. There are 3 bingo games a week in Quartzsite. There's 1 at the QIA and 2 at the senior center. And Sarah and I have been talking about going to bingo for a while, so tonight we are going to check out the Saturday night game at the senior center. Sarah's camped out in Bouse with our friends Melissa and Ginger. I'm still in Skadden Wash with Kat. So we met in town to have ice cream first, and then after ice cream those guys drove right over, but I had to get some cash. So I went to the Dollar General to get cash back, and now I'm on my way over there to meet those guys. I've never played bingo before. I don't think Sarah has either. I don't know about Melissa and Ginger, but I think this is going to be fun. Wow, the parking lot is really full. Bingo on a Saturday apparently is pretty popular. Okay, I'm not going to shoot inside there because it's very crowded and everybody looks very serious about their bingo. So I'm going to report back afterwards. I just got thrown out of bingo. So in the ads on Facebook, everywhere, it says that the doors open at 5 and the game is at 6:30. So we didn't hurry. We got our ice cream and we just figured we had to be here by 6:30. The others got here at about 6:10, I guess, but I didn't arrive until 6:20 because, I went to get cash. And I guess, even though it doesn't say it anywhere, I guess you have to be here by 6:15 if you want to buy a package, which is, the bingo cards. Each game has its own card. So you get a package of cards, right? So when I got here, they were already sitting down, and Sarah told me it was too late to buy a package, but she said that she would give me some of her package. There's lots of games, so she could give me some and we would both be able to play. And she had also bought me an early bird game card. Now, I don't know how to play, like I said. So this nice lady, whose job I guess it is to help the newcomers, she came by and she asked me where my dauber was. And I didn't even know what a dauber is, but it's this thing, right? It turns out it's the paint marker that you mark the numbers on the card with. So she told me to go to the table and buy a dauber. So I go up there to the cashier table and I ask for a dauber. And the lady who's sitting there behind the table, I'm going to call her Bingo Karen, because she becomes the Karen in this story. She says, "You're too late. Sales are closed." Okay, so maybe I could just mark the numbers with a pen, but the helper lady says, "No, you really need a dauber." And she somehow talks the old Karen lady into selling me one. So I sit down and we play the early bird game. And I won $20. So things are off to a great start. So now it's time for the regular game. Sarah gives me half of her bingo cards. They start calling the numbers for the first game and I start daubing. And all of a sudden, Bingo Karen comes from behind the cash register. She's in front of Sarah, who, you know, she's not playing this game because it's one of the games that she gave me. And Karen shrieks, "You don't have a package?" And Sarah says, "No, I have a package." And Karen says, "Well, where is it? Why aren't you playing?" And Sarah says, "Well, I gave this game to my friend." So Bingo Karen looks all horrified and she runs down to me at the end of the table. She's screaming, "You can't do that! You can't do that!" She rips the card out of my hand, runs down and plunks it in front of Sarah and says, "You have to play it. Whoever bought it has to play it." So, okay, I'm not going to be able to play, but that's okay. I'm with my friends. I'm going to cheer them on and it's still going to be a fun night, right? But no, because Bingo Karen rushes up to me and she says, "You can't be here. It's against the law. We'll lose our bingo license." And you know, if I was the reason that the Quartzsite Senior Center lost their bingo license, I think that I would have a few enemies in town. So I get up. I'm not trying to fight with anybody. And then Karen tells me, "Well, you can stay if you go in the kitchen and keep the door closed," which I passed on, because spending 2 hours in a room by myself while people are playing bingo on the other side of the door does just not sound appealing, so I left. I wanted to know what kind of mischief people can get into in Quartzsite at night, but I didn't really expect this was going to be the mischief I would get into here at the bingo game. If they were going to stop selling at 6:15, they probably should have said so. You know, it wasn't anywhere. I mean, I know I don't know anything about bingo, but I had no idea that it was so stressful. From now on, I think I'm just going to stick to the old school nighttime activities, but maybe with a twist. Like tonight, we had the fire, and then we projected a movie on the side of Sarah and Aaron's rig. Here's the movie.
I know it's hard to accept.
Do you recognize the movie? If you do, tell me in the comments. But I think this might have been the most fun night out of the season, and didn't have to go anywhere. Have you been to Quartzsite? Did I miss anything? Well, I know I missed Taco Tuesday at Taco Mio, and I guess I missed bingo too, but did I miss anything else? Let me know if you can think of other fun nighttime stuff, and here's another video where I got thrown out.